Okay, so obviously, as a lot of you know, I fell in love with the Andy egg. It's all I want to skate now. Right now, I'm skating a popsicle. It's the worst experience of my life. Popsicles are stupid. We were just talking about how silly it is to have a popsicle because it's like wearing all black. I described it as like water flavored bubble gum. There's no advantage. It's just the board. He looks offended. I don't know. Like after skating the egg, it's like better for skating. I just want to change things. But anyways, Andy has another new shape. By the time I got into so this thing. Let me just say, okay, I saw the side profile or whatever, and I knew what it was. You had described it to me. And then I stood on it, and I was just, like, completely wrong on what it was going to look and feel like. Like, I understood the shape, but now, like, I don't know. Okay. So this, the taper is in right here.
Yeah.
The hip out. You got the hook thing here.
Yeah.
Like, it's, okay, imagine, you know how, like, his old board, how he, like, talked about, like, hey, this does this does that, this does this. This is, like, the same idea as that, but it's all different stuff. It's like a Swiss Army knife with none of the Swiss Army knife pieces that you think that normally come with. Like, it doesn't have the scissors, it doesn't have a screwdriver, it has, like, a flamethrower and then, like, a toothpick. Like, it's just completely different. And he was like, yeah, it's good for, like, scooping, like, pressure flips and impossibles. You know that I suck at both of those. And, like, first try, I wrapped a really good impossible. Zach might even be able to wrap an impossible on it, actually.
There's no shot. Normally, you'd have to put your foot there for impossibles, now you can put it back here.
That's what I did. I put my foot in, like, an ollie position almost, like a little bit over, and it's sucked around my foot.
You can get pressure flips high with it. That's, like, not first trick of the day where you normally put your foot to pressure flip, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, there's definitely something to it. Like he puts it on the tail. You know?
Yeah, it's like a comfortable spot because a pressure flip is notoriously uncomfortable. Okay, hold on. Oh, the wrong pressure flip. Do you have that one?
I have no commentary on what he just did. So people think, why would you design a board for pressure flips? And it's not about the pressure flips. That's like a happenstance thing. It's the pressure pocket that every board already has. It's just a little smaller, and you need that for tray flips for any of the rotational flip tricks. So, are you ready for this, bro?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. What do you want me to start with?
You tell me. Just follow your heart, and I'll follow suit.
Okay.
he's like he's so excited.
Dude, this took so many freaking minute details. Like moving this to there is too far in. And then to there is way too far out. Like it's so specific. But check this out. You land your trick bolts, you got the most board. And that's usually where your feet kind of are when you're skating bowl. Everything's there, in which case you can use these for grabs as well as this, but that's also byproduct. But when you're doing a flip trick, you put your foot where it's skinnier, right? It's a bit further back. And you can still have your front foot like there while it's in the skinny spot. And it gives you a reference point without needing your eyes. So like skating the barracks the other day, going at the 10 set, you're looking at the 10 set. And I can feel exactly where my foot's at.
Because where that little piece comes out?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then also in the tail, with this, you can feel exactly where you're at on the tail.
So I looked at the tail and the nose, and I'm going to be completely honest. I was in the car. We were driving to Woodward when he was working out some of the finer details of like how it's going to in-hook. And I just kept thinking that's going to feel like a chip on your skateboard. Like it's going to feel gross. But then I stood on the board, and I just assumed that it would feel one way, and it feels like a perfectly normal tail, but it responds like something different.
It's a big tail that responds like a tiny tail.
That's an interesting way of putting it, yeah.
It's a trip. So for tray flips, you have your back foot in the pressure pocket, which I'll get to later, and then the front foot starts from the skinny and flicks out of the fat. So this is like an 8-2 and this is an 8-4. So I like to call it like an 8-2 popsicle with pull tabs.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like an 8-2, but then you got this like in the binders, you know what I mean, when you get the pull tabs?
Well, it's sort of like what I was saying I really liked about the football shape was having the extra meat in the middle. When the board comes out further than where your like wheels and stuff are, like it's more to like flip under. Well, yours actually come out specifically only where you flick.
Yeah.
So like you don't need all that extra weight in the middle. It's just going to be out here.
And something I learned from Nigel, I say that so because I would never expect to learn anything from Nigel. No, I'm sorry. No, but with skinnier boards, when your heel's hanging off, you can get more pop. Like you can actually sink down lower without torquing your board. So it's just like that. Having that skinny board to jump off of can give you more pop. Okay, so check this out. This is perfectly placed for tray flips, varial heels, all that stuff, right? And then it's also high enough that for kick flips, because I actually want to learn how to kick flip back tail or kick flip onto stuff or over stuff, you have to learn how to kick flip out of your nose. Because when you kick flip out of your nose, that's when you can actually throw your board up.
Yeah.
When you're kick flipping out of here, all your power's in the pop and you're pushing your board down. But if you do it gently enough, your board could still come up, but just not as much force as the initial pop.
Yeah.
Well, when you flick out of the nose, you can have a weak pop and throw it.
Exactly. Yeah. If you flick off the side, you're literally canceling out all the effort that you just put into getting it in the air.
Yeah, and you can do that, and that's how like a lot of vert skaters do stuff too.
It's how you do it on a trampoline.
Yeah, how you do it on a trampoline, and like it's that if you do it right, you know, you can still have your foot coming up while you're.
Yeah. You could be a tap skater like Dylan Jebb.
Yeah, but Dylan Jebb taps on the nose.
Yeah. Yeah. He also ollies and then does it late. All of Dylan Jebb's tricks are secretly late.
So look at that. I could have my foot up to there without this. If you like really straight foot, it's different. And you, dude, this is just the tiniest thing. If you want to put your foot over it too, it doesn't even matter. It's not like a screw sticking up. That is the front half. The flicking side. What about the popping side? So check this out, bro. Check this out.
I'm gonna check this out.
My first tail was like this.
Someone call the cops. Andy's doing graffiti.
Right? It was kind of like that. And then my second tail, I was trying to figure out how to round this out, but still have the pressure pockets. But I found out that that's kind of really hard to do. So we changed it to pulling this in like that. And
So that's all it is you just sort of inverted it.
Yeah, we inverted it. And what that does is it disrupts the roll. So on a popsicle stick, when you pop, it hits here. And then if you go to scoop, it's gonna roll over, right? So it's just traveling, the contact point's moving and moving and moving. But with this, because that corner, it's here and then it travels and then it stops here. And then this is empty space pocket. So if you draw a line from this corner to where the wheel is, that, let's do it on the other side too. It's rough, you know, but popping in this area is gonna give you a square tail type pop for pop shove-its, kick flips, anything where you want that super stable pop, predictable. But you pop over here in this region.
Oh yeah. It just goes.
It goes. There's
okay, now, I didn't understand the point until literally you just did that little pressure. Now I understand.
So your tail feels like it's that big, and then these are just wings in order to get that. So when you tray flip, you have your toe pushing in that wing, and then you flick on this wall. And you know exactly where your feet need to be and need to go.
So this really plays into, you can see how power loaded, just him putting his foot like right here and pressure flipping it. A lot of people don't really think about the way you preset a lot of flip tricks. So like when you do kick flips, you kind of will pressure the board a little bit this way and then flick, like it kind of like hyperacts all of that.
Yeah, it's like instead of going like this is a spectrum, this is like, or this is 0 in the center, you know, 0.5, 1, it's like a spectrum. This is like 0 to 0.5, and this is 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like, gah! So it took me years to understand that I needed that inhaling to disrupt the roll.
Yeah.
And if you look on the bottom, you see the wear is actually kind of the shape of the egg. I'm talking about this line where it's fresh wood to where it wears.
Yeah, where it starts to razor.
And then the squareness takes longer to razor down, so your tail length actually lasts longer.
Yeah, it snaps better for a longer period of time.
But dude, you got to freaking, like if you want to pressure flip this, right, you got to find the spot that it torques. So it's not quite there. not quite there.
It's in an uncomfortable spot on your tail. It's like where the wheel is almost.
Yeah, it's way up there, right? So like if you want to pressure flip, your pocket is like here.
If you want to pressure flip, if you want it impossible, if you want one of those really scoop you back big spins, it's all way up by that wheel.
But with this, it's this size.
Interesting.
On both sides. So you just have fucking...
That trips me out every time you do that.
Dude, it's a trip. It trips me out. Dude, you wouldn't believe how excited I was. And then there were so many mistakes that happened making this board that made it better. Like these dimples were way larger than I wanted. And I was like, scale it back. And then I skated it scaled back and it sucked. And I was like, oh my God, those weird ass looking ones are actually the ones that I need. So I don't care how it fucking looks because it's gonna work the way that I've been intending it to work.
Yeah. Is anything like kind of started to come unlock? Like any tricks started to make way more sense with this for you?
Tray flips, dude, switch trays. Like I can't switch tray really, but like knowing exactly where my feet need to be, like helps me so much. But okay, here's one more thing. There's probably a lot more, but here's one more. This curve right here. This curve right here is for primos. It's your tail when you're skating sideways. You're skating sideways, that's your tail.
Okay.
That's extremely important. For my first board, the nose had it. The tail did not. The tail was made for the pressure flips, so I didn't care about that curve. The nose had the curve. So this one, now I have that curve on all four sides and the pressure pocket. But the part that sucks about this curve is it's a tapering nose. And you don't want a tapering nose, especially for flip tricks. And this board's designed for flip tricks. So what do I do with a tapering nose? Is when you cut out the center and you're flicking from the skinny part, you draw a straight line and it's like way up there. So now instead of like it's cool because the flight decks actually have the grid on the top so you can see how far it actually goes straight. But that's what I'm saying, it's like an 8.2 with pull tabs.
So it skates like a skinny board, but you have the extra board to land on.
Yeah, and you have the extra board to flick. Because the tapering nose makes it seem like there's less to flick. But when you're starting from in here, then it's only more to flick. And also these corners are really good for Caspers. When you're sitting in Casper, you can pick it up on a corner and place it down somewhere else. Designing it to be skated this way, and this way.
I think it's funny on how, like, I mean, it's so obvious. Like everyone, like we skate this shape, a popsicle, and all the tricks work on that, but no one's really doing anything to make all the tricks work better on that. You know, not enough people are playing with the idea of like, there's no way that we got the popsicle right after the Mike Vallely Pro Model board came out. Like we didn't figure it out that fast. I think that there is more things to change about boards, at least for specific things. Like, yeah, I think there's a vert board out there that isn't out yet.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, that was a poppy tray.
Like,
that's a trick, hard trick to get in the air.
It was always included, you know? We literally just got out of the car. But
so it's once again, you kind of have like the nail thing going on. The nail in the toe.
Yeah, I'm calling it a toes, like T-O-S-E. Yeah, the wheels are built in.
What else you got for me?
Okay. What else do I got? This size. So my first board was 15-inch wheelbase, 7-inch nose, 7-inch tail. Huge. I love it. I loved it. I rode it for 7 years. Even before I was on towel, I was riding that shape. And Stacy's like, get a smaller board. Sorry, that's not Stacy's voice at all.
That is what Stacy sounds like. I'm using that.
Stacy's like, get a smaller board, Andy. But after I got used to the egg, I was like, damn, for flip tricks, this is still a little big. I want to make the best flip trick board now. For me.
Yeah.
And so I went 14.25, industry standard wheelbase, and then 8.4 wide. I wanted to do 8.38, but 8.4 just worked better.
And it's 8.4 at the widest, but then at the narrow point, it's what, 8.2?
Yeah.
So that's like the right size, like that combination.
Yeah, and it was for flip tricks. Like I was like, I want the flip trick board. And when I was designing it, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to skate bowl on this. But then when I got used to it, it's like, why wouldn't I be able to skate bowl on this? Like, I'm loving it in the bowl. And it being shorter in general, plus the new concave that Justin just did, moved the kicks closer. So there's wheelbase, right? Everyone knows wheelbase, but then there's like kick base, where it's like the kick actually starts, like it used to be further out and further out. So the wheelbase could change, but the distance to your flick is still generally the same, or longer than it needs to be. So that new concave is more fitted for this board as well. Dude, it's crazy how like multiple projects line up sometimes.
It works for everything, but you had flip tricks in mind.
Yeah, flip tricks in mind, and then it's this is an important point. It doesn't replace the other boards. They all are standalone projects.
A quiver of skateboards.
This isn't, that's why the multiple sizes works too. My friend Rick was saying, oh, why don't you redesign the Heron, like the first board? And I'm like, it's perfect. I'm not gonna touch it, it's perfect. It's exactly what it should be. All the dimensions are perfect. So it's like, if I'm gonna design a new size, then everything in that shape has to alter too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just start from scratch. So new size, new shape.
So these are like your 3 different sizes then. You have like the biggest, widest board is the Heron, and then your medium board is the Heron Egg, Heron 2, and then this is your third one, which doesn't have a name yet.
It's the Dorja.
Can we say that?
I want it to be the Dorja.
He has a name that he wants it to be.
It makes sense that it's the baby heron because the heron laid an egg and there's the mama and the papa.
Okay, there's a whole story behind.
There's folklore?
Yeah, dude, because there's the bigger one and then the smaller one. And then they had the egg. And then the egg hatched. And then the pop, you gotta plug the fact that it's a flight deck, dude. These decks just last forever.
Yep.
And you can ride it both ways.
Twin.
But if you want to ride it one way, do that. Swear down the tail. Then flip it. Then skate it the other way. You got a brand new tail.
Literally what I did with the other board. That's why it lasted me so long. The twin egg, the Heron 2, that's what I did, and it lasted me twice as long. Like I had one that I preferred because, you know, obviously coming from a popsicle, one truck is like looser than the other one for specific reasons. But when it comes to flip tricks, like my board goes backwards and I was like, oh man, oh no, you know what? I'm fine. And then I just kept skating.
Yeah.
Like it didn't make any difference at all.
And dude, for that, huge props to the Powell factory. Because getting a board drilled perfectly centered, the margin for error is so slight before you feel the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Like, the board could be pressed completely the same, but if the truck holes are a little bit too or a little bit too then it just feels like the nose is mellower because the thing's further back, even though it's not mellower. Dude, this is you goofy rigs right here. So this is it, dude, right here. From the wheel to the corner. That is it. Whether your foot, you like popping with the tip of your toe, put your foot there, you like popping with the ball of your foot.
Doesn't matter. The pressure pocket is used for 360 flips. It's used for impossibles. It's used for back big spins. It's used for, and there's also the front side pressure one too, which probably is a good scoop to torque your front threes to sort of like dip them down.
Dude, or like nollie frontside flips or backside flips. I mean, like you want to pop there so that
The board tweaks a little bit that way,
so that you can flick it.
Yep.
There, right, like so. I kind of shooting myself in the foot by calling it for pressure flips.
Yeah.
Because that's really not what it is intended for.
Yeah.
But that's the most obvious example. But anyways, this is about Zach.
You could impossible.
So I could finally wrap my impossible because I haven't for years and years.
I think you do wrap your impossibles. You just ollie into them. You do ollie impossibles. That's your problem.
Oh, Zach, it worked.
It worked, right? Well, dude, like that's the other thing is this takes out that space so it doesn't hit your shin. When I used to do impossibles on my Heron board, it would always hit my shin.
That one hit my shin so hard.
Did it really?
Yeah. That's why I said that. Because it hit your shin so hard. I was telling you how I designed it not to hit your shin.
I feel like a stationary impossible would be the hardest impossible ever.
Is it wrapping?
Okay, let me slow-mo close up because I think they're really wrappy. Hold on.
If people believe I can impossible on this thing and not 3 shows, they might back it, yeah.
Anyone can impossible if Zach can impossible. Zach has the best ollie imposters in the game. I've honestly never seen you do a regular impossible.
Really?
Yeah, I've only seen you do the front foot nonsense. Sorry to attack your entire career in one sentence.
Right as he was about to fall.
Oh yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, no way. Do you have those?
No, but I got this board.
Oh,
Wait.
look what his foot is doing.
It's big toe, right?
That is the most insane, impossible setup I've ever seen. That is the interesting thing about 360 flips is I think a lot of people don't realize most skaters pressure them. Like their front foot doesn't do anything but get out of the way, and the act of getting your foot out of the way gives it the slightest flick. But if you have this pressure pocket, you can tilt the board towards it to get a better flick. So I imagine if you really wanted to do those like Johnny Layton tray flip up something or like tray flip over something, it'd be a good thing to have, like to get a poppy tray flip. Oh, it's crazy.
It's like on my toe. Impossible for me, the way I imagine it, is like an inward hacky sack kick. I don't know if that's how I'm doing it, but that's how I imagine it. So you pop it and you scoop it forward so that the board passes vertical. And then at this point, you can pull it up like crazy